Welcome. Today's video is going to be an introduction to moles and mole concept. So firstly, what is a mole? A mole is a quantity which we use to measure atoms and particles in chemistry. But to be specific, 1 mole represents 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. This is the number which moles represents. And this number is called Avogadro's number or Avogadro's constant. This number, Avogadro's constant, is roughly the number of atoms present in 12 grams of carbon-12. Moles define a quantity similar to dozen or gross. However, the reason why we use moles in chemistry is because it's very specific. 6.02 is just a truncated version of this number. We can use it to define things which we do also want to be specific. So for example, in a lab, we often use hydrochloric acid. Let's say that we have a cup of hydrochloric acid. What we want to know in the lab is just how much HCl is present in our solution, because in the lab, we use dilute hydrochloric acid. So what we do when we want to find how much chemical is present within a solution is that we have to find molar concentration. Most of the time it's written as mole, C-O-N-C. Mole, M-O-L to represent moles, and C-O-N-C to represent concentration. Molar concentration is measured in moles per decimeter cubed. Moles can be written like this, or it could also be written like this: MOL dm cube to -3. My apologies. Both of these means the same thing. And molar concentration is important in a lab so that we know exactly how much chemical we're using and not just the amount of solution. In a lab, another way which we can use moles is to learn more about the reactions that we're doing. So for example, let's say we are doing this following reaction. This reaction is calcium carbonate plus 2 hydrochloric acid, giving us calcium chloride, carbon dioxide, and water. In this reaction, something that we do want to know is firstly the amount of reactants which we have: calcium carbonate and hydrochloric acid. A lot of the times in the lab, these are stored in solutions, so therefore we don't want to know the molar concentration. Now after the reaction, we'd also want to be able to measure the amount of product which we get. Oftentimes in this reaction, we'd be measuring the amount of carbon dioxide. So in order to get the specific quantity of carbon dioxide produced during this reaction, we'd be able to take the volume of this product at standard temperature and pressure, or at room temperature and pressure, and be able to determine the amount of moles from that to know exactly how many particles of carbon dioxide are present. We can then determine if there are any errors during our reaction. For example, maybe the produced carbon dioxide is not collected properly, or maybe we don't have enough of these two reactants to produce the ideal amount of product. So for example, let's say that we have 5 moles of calcium carbonates and 4 moles of hydrochloric acid. We can say that in this formula right here, we'd have 1 mole of calcium carbonate reacting with 2 moles of hydrochloric acid. So we will have enough for 2 moles of carbon dioxide to be produced. However, we will have 1 mole of calcium carbonate still in excess. This is because we won't have enough hydrochloric acid to completely react with the calcium carbonate. Therefore, we would say that the hydrochloric acid is a limiting reagent. A limiting reagent being a reagent which is not in sufficient quantity to fulfill the reaction completely. So these are just a couple uses of moles in chemistry. Once again, 1 mole is a very specific amount. And so we must use it for very specific things. This is why it's so important in chemistry. We use it when we're measuring solutions and other substances. So with that being said, that's the end of today's video. I will be making more videos throughout the week covering other aspects of mole concept, like standard temperature and pressure, room temperature and pressure, standard solutions, and limiting reagents, just as seen in this video. So if you are interested in this, please do like and subscribe with your notifications on, so when I do make these videos, it will come up on your notification screen. Thank you for watching today's video, and I do hope to see you again sometime soon. Bye bye.